Joe, it is so good to have you here. I am so excited. From the moment I met you, I knew this girl is so special just because you have this energy, you have this light, and you have this absolute presence when you walk into a room. You are extremely confident, and I'm like, yes, how and where does that come from? So I'm so excited to have this chat and just to dive deeper into your story and how this confident Joe came to be. Let's do this.
First, the introduction. Wow. Thanks, girl. And I feel exactly the same way about you as well. So I've always obviously seen you online, but we've never actually met in person until like last year.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, we just clicked.
Immediately.
And so when you asked me to come be on the podcast, I was like, immediately yes. We just have to figure out how to fit it into the schedule. But I'm good. I'm feeling blessed, busy, but I always say busy is blessings.
100%. Like you said, we knew about each other, but before meeting you, I obviously had an idea of who you are. Just like with anyone, you see them as what they do, for what they do. You see them as, okay, that's Joe. She's a woman in sport, this netball specifically. Or you see her as Joe, the presenter, or like there's so many different facets. It depends on what season they meet you, where that fits in. Let's go back to high school Joe. Who was she and what were her dreams?
Oh, that's so crazy because I've been kind of reflecting a lot more and looking back. But I think that is also something that comes once you turn 30.
Yeah.
You just look back at life. Yeah, but I thought about that this other day where I was thinking about 9-year-old me.
Yo.
And then thinking about me now. And I was just thinking, for the first time, I feel like 9-year-old me would think I'm pretty cool.
Sure.
Because so much has happened in my teen years, in my 20s. And then hitting 30, looking back, it felt like I've lived so many lives in that time. But young me, oh gosh, when I look at little me, I started playing netball when I was 5.
Yeah.
And just fell in love with the game. My sister played and my mom, but before my time. So it's kind of netball was always part of our family. And growing up next to the netball court, watching my sisters play, it kind of like inspired me because I thought they were the coolest. Because there's a big age gap. I know you can probably relate to it.
Yeah.
So it's a big age gap with me and my older sister. So watching them, I always thought they were very cool.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to do what they did, but do it better.
Yeah, of course.
Last born, you just want to be the best. So yeah, I fell in love with the game because I don't know, it was everything that went with it. It's the teamwork, it's the working towards a common goal that excited me.
Yeah.
Because I did dabble in athletics. I did run a little in primary school.
Yeah, sprinterkie.
I did run a little bit, but I hated it.
Oh,
I hated it.
And it's alone. It's a very lonely sport.
I hated it. And I think that was the worst part for me of doing it alone.
Yeah.
And I had this difficulty of working towards something that is for myself.
Yeah.
Me being a part of a team, that motivated me more than anything else. So I realized from a young age that I want to be part of a team. I want to do a team sport, and I wanted to be netball.
Yeah, of course.
So I kind of specialized, I would say, too early. If I had my own kids, I would not do that. But I was like from grade 5, I'm like, I only want to do netball.
Okay, hectic.
Yeah. And so then
You're 11 years old, you already know what you want to do.
Yes, it was that thing of when a teacher asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm like, I want to be South African netball player. I want to be a Protea. I'm going to be the next Bronwyn Bok, which in that time when I was little, she was like the Protea captain and a woman of color. So in her, I saw myself.
Yeah.
And at my I think it was grade 3, at our sports awards, Bronwyn Bok was like the special guest. And she handed my little, beste speler van die jaar, a little award. And since that day, I was like, I'm going to be this lady.
Sure.
And so everything from that, that's the goal I was working towards. Every single day, every single training session, I'm training as if I'm a Protea and I'm like, 9, 10.
Yo.
No, it's crazy. But that's that was the majority of my life. So who was I when I was little? Ambitious, driven, gutsy, I would say. I was a lot more fearless and I always played with the boys. I was playing touch rugby, I was playing cricket. So you very rarely found me sitting around with the girls playing with the dolls. I was, playing with the cars. I was skateboarding, riding bike, climbing trees. That was the vibe.
Yes, I relate so much with that because if I think about high school Julie, I would also say it's very much fearless and it's very much I can do anything I set my mind to, and you almost don't need a filter. Even if I look back at social media, the things I posted there and how bold I was with what I said, it's before the world hurts you. It's very sad when you see young girls now, even like they don't even have that fearless time in their lives because it gets taken away so early because of social media, because of what people go through at a very young age, and because of that pressure. When did that love and that fearlessness and that gutsiness that you had at a young age, what changed that? When did the thing that brought you the most joy and the most purpose become the thing that was just pressure?
Gosh, it's difficult to like pinpoint it, I would say. I feel like it's like
It almost builds up.
Yeah, because you start focusing kind of on the wrong things and you lose the love of it, and you just focus on the expectations and the goals and, making certain teams, winning certain tournaments, and it just kind of becomes a job.
Yeah.
And I think there was a stage where it became a job and this is a means to an end versus it just being the thing I love.
Yeah. And just to give you guys a little bit of context, like it wasn't just a sport you played, it was obviously it was your whole life. Playing SA netball on an 18, on a 20, and then you played the President 12's team, you were Centre Court Player of the Year, you won numerous awards. It was like Joe was the netball player and now that I know that it was like from age 11, it was your entire identity. How did you find who Joe was without netball then? Like when was the time, when did you decide, okay, this isn't for me? When was that shift?
Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was kind of like everything kind of fell apart at once.
Yeah.
And it was kind of one of those forced stoppages that I just had to kind of reevaluate everything I thought I knew about life and about myself. So I think if we can go back, like, because I said it's like a build up. So if I can go back to 2019, I would probably say that was one of the most, if not the most successful years for me career-wise, netball-wise, and then one of the toughest years for me personally off the court. So it was kind of this contrasting,
this paradox. Like I'm so successful, the world sees this as,
and I'm so close to that ultimate dream of like, getting that green blazer that Bronwyn Bok wore that day when she gave me that award, to me being that person and always getting there. Like, I mean, going through the schooling system, always making the SA team, SA squads from a young age, and then getting to 2019, I felt like that was kind of like a peak year. It was my final year of university as well. So it's my final year of studies. It's my final year of playing varsity netball. And at that same time, my sister gets very sick. So my sister gets cancer again. It came back. So she had breast cancer 2 years before, went into remission, and it's my older sister. And then it came back that year, and she was very ill. And it was like in my TNL series, which is our national league.
Okay.
So I say on Super Rugby or whatever.
Yeah.
It was the finals weekend, and the doctor's like, it's like the time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
I always get emotional when I think about it because it's like definitely the toughest. Yeah, that's like the raw part of my life. And so the thing I love most, netball, and then one of the people I love most.
Yeah. Sure.
And now it felt like I had to choose.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm like, I'm not going. It's fine. I know it's finals weekend. I know, and I mean, like I said, I'm such a team player. So anything for the team. And when you are athlete, but any job, you leave home stuff at home.
Yeah.
So when you go to court, you just focus on the job at hand there. And it also becomes your escape.
Of course.
Yeah, your sport becomes your escape. And now it's kind of like, this might be the last time I get to see my sister. And if I get on that plane, I don't know if she's going to be if I come back. And I never told anybody like how tough it actually was for me. Like I never cried at netball. A lot of my team members also didn't even know how sick she was. But my parents kind of informed my coaches, but I was very big on it. Like, I don't want the rest of the team to know that my sister's basically dying.
Yeah.
Then the last thing she told me in like the ICU before she went home for the last days, she was like, she wants me to go. She wants to go play and she wants me to go win the thing. And and I was like, I didn't want to go.
No, of course not.
But now that's one of the last things she's telling me. She's like, you should go. And that time she didn't speak that much. She couldn't really.
Yeah.
She wasn't able to because at that point the cancer started taking over her entire body. And so I'm like, oh, I don't have a choice. Kind of, I have to go. It was tough, but like always, I just, humor is my go-to. Just made it fun for everyone, making jokes, not really telling anyone what's actually happening.
But that's why no one almost took it as seriously. Not took it as seriously, but
Yeah.
thought it, it's not that, nothing in her life could be that bad because she's
because
she's handling it so well.
I think, and that's also something from a young age that I was like, I never wanted to see other people be unhappy.
Yeah.
I always took it up on myself to kind of control the energy in the room and lift spirits up. And I always felt like that was something I was put on my life to do, to spread the light, spread the joy, make others laugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just carried on like Joe would, Joe's always having a good time. Joe's always fun, whatever. And I was like, it's an important time for my team as well. I can't afford to like bring it down with but I mean, we have to go and win this thing.
Yeah.
And so then we play semis, and the odds were stacked against us. They did not think we were going to win that semi. We were playing against like Free State. I think also our captain wasn't there in that game. So they ended like, okay, you have to stand in as captain as well. And I'm like, okay, it's fine, it's whatever. This is what I do. It's my job. I was born for this, whatever. In our warm-up area, there's just a peace came over me.
Yeah.
That I haven't felt since I was probably a kid, and I felt it the first time before making my first SA squad. There was also just a peace that came over me at the netball space, that I was also just like, no, it can only be God, because it's this thing you can't explain, you can't describe it, and you just everything else just melts away, and you just feel this utter peace within.
Yeah.
And then it also felt like my sister was there with me.
Yeah.
I couldn't explain it, and I also, once again, didn't tell anyone around me. But I'm like, no, it's fine. I don't have to think about what's happening at home. It's fine. She's telling me it's fine. And I go play that game and end up playing one of, if not the best match of my life. It was.
That's
it was just, and I helped carry my team to a win, and a good win as well. And I ended up getting player of the match as well.
Oh my goodness.
But as soon as the match was done, I just started crying. And no one also know why I'm crying, because why would I cry? I don't cry at netball.
Yeah.
I don't cry at netball.
Yeah.
And I just started crying. Everybody around me also just like starts crying as well. Everyone's hugging me. But my thing was, it wasn't even about the netball at that stage. Mm-hmm. And then a random lady comes and pulls me and like, you have to go to an interview. Yeah, you play with the match, whatever. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I just want to go to my phone.
Yeah.
And because why was I feeling my sister? So in my mind, it's like, did she leave this earth?
Yeah.
Is that why? So I want to run to my bag and get my phone to check if I don't have a message or call telling me that she's not with us anymore. But instead, I'm getting pulled to do an interview. And I'm just like, I'm not in the right space to do this.
No.
And I don't even know what the presenter asked me at that point. And she just, I think it was something in the line of, she saw how emotional I was. And she was just like, I see you getting emotional. Can you maybe tell me what that's about? And at that point, I did not share what's happening at home with anyone. I used to keep my private life quite private. And so I just started crying and breaking down on national television. You know how embarrassing it was for me, because I was not comfortable crying at that stage. I don't cry. At that stage, I was not comfortable with vulnerability yet. I have not learned that skill yet.
Yeah.
So there I'm crying on national television. And being someone that didn't even tell my teammates how sick my sister was, now I'm telling everybody. And then I just said, my sister's sick at home, and this one was for her. And then the outpour of messages and calls I got was very overwhelming. I think I still have unread messages from that time, but anyway, That was 2019, but anyway.
Yes.
But I was so overwhelmed,
Yeah.
and I was just concerned about what's happening at home. So now I'm supposed to be happy because now, we're going to the finals,
Yeah.
getting player of the match, all these things. But I was not fully there. So it was such a out of body experience for me.
Of course.
Next match, going to the final. We didn't win the final, unfortunately. tried really hard to. But then I end up winning Central Player of the Tournament, which is
Huge.
which is one of the biggest achievements in my career thus
That is
far.
massive, yeah.
And yet again, I was like, this is so unexpected,
Yeah.
but I just want to go home.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, I just want to go home.
but that was the thing that you wanted most in your life, and you
And
thought
then,
that
yeah.
moment would get there, and you would feel like I made it, and that's not what you felt.
And then it didn't matter.
Yo,
And suddenly it didn't matter as much.
yo,
And that's the only thing I've ever wanted or working towards.
yo, no. Yo.
And then it didn't matter. I wanted to go home. And so immediately after getting my awards, getting all medals, I run to my bag and I run to my phone.
Yeah,
And I call my dad. I'm just...
yeah.
Yes, ek het geweet die tissues gaan uitkom.
Oh my word.
And I run to my bag and I just say, Dad, like, not even saying words even.
Yeah.
Just like, and he says, nee, sy's fine, sissy is fine.
Ah.
Moenie worry nie. And just like, okay. Put my phone away and then I just go back and there's the confetti, there's everybody's celebrating, it's the music.
Paradox.
Right? And I just go back into it and I just acclimatize to it and I
Yeah.
just fit in and just kind of celebrate with everyone as well and pretend like that other part is not there. That fear of any minute now, I can get a phone call telling me my sister is gone. But in any case, I don't want to bring down anyone else's vibes.
Yeah.
So we carry on, as we do. We carry on. And we're strong. And we don't want to burden others with our feelings. That thing. Never want to be a burden. Because, feelings, emotions, they are negative. Because, that's kind of how we always frame it. But also that time when you're an athlete, you always try not to be human. I think.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's kind of,
You don't feel anything. It's no.
You're not
no.
allowed to, or you don't allow yourself to, because it's a
Yeah.
distraction.
Yeah.
But you carry on. And then, then I went home, and with these 2 awards, our little runner-up division and my little center court player of the tournament, and all I care about is that my sister's okay.
Yeah.
And then, so I went to her house immediately. My dad came to fetch me from the airport. I go to her. At that point, she was nonverbal. She couldn't speak anymore. So I just gave her my awards because I didn't want it.
Yeah.
So I just gave it to her and said, this was for you. And, I love you. And that same evening, then I slept over at her place. And that same evening at 5 a.m., she passed away.
Sure.
So then everybody was kind of like, no, she was just waiting for you to get back. Ek het gedink ek gaan so baie. So at that point she was just kind of waiting.
Yeah.
And once again, being the amazing big sister that she always is, always putting everyone else first and always being there for a little sis. So once again, she waited for me to go do what I loved, and I held on a little longer. And that's just how she loved,
Yeah.
She always just loved in that way, always putting others first.
But how crazy, because I didn't know your story. I didn't know that's what happened. Like beforehand, I was like, oh, well, surely it was just pressure building up with netball, and that's what happens, because that's the usual story of girls struggling with pressure. And I'm not taking away anything because the pressure is real in the sport. But now knowing this, it changes everything. Like it changes the whole root of this conversation. And I'm actually I'm in awe of how you handled it. And firstly, I'm just also grateful that you're sharing this. I think grief is a crazy thing, and it's something that not a lot of people ever get the chance to actually properly heal from and actually speak about and actually, share with others. And I think there's so many women out there that can sit now and be like, wow, okay, like how many times did I have to put my personal life aside to focus on the job and to get it done? It's it's incredible how you did that. How did you then move on? What happened next? What was the big shift then? Because I could understand that it could feel like your whole life now stands still and there's no moving forward from this. How did you?
I just went to the next tournament. It's just the next thing on our sporting calendar. And I think now you mentioning that you didn't know my story because I never shared it, because I didn't even know that was such a big part of my story, because I didn't allow myself to grieve for a very long time. And only recently have I kind of discovered that that was the turning point. That so much of what happened in the next 5 years went back to that point. And I didn't know that because I just did what all athletes do. We just carry on. And we just focus on our sport.
And as long as you do well, as long as you get the win, as long as you make the team, like, it's almost like nothing else matters. Like, everything can be falling apart, but nothing else matters. It's fine. Like, it's fine. And no one also asks if you're okay, as long as you're winning, as long as the team is doing well, as long as you make the team. Like, why would I ask you if you're okay? Because it looks great.
Yeah, you're
like,
performing.
You're performing.
And like I said, like, my personal life was the worst time of my life for me. But on court, it was one of the best seasons of my entire life. Because I completely then stunted myself kind of emotionally. And I think I only realized it later, but I think I shut down a part of me and then just kind of zoomed in on the things I thought I could control. Which is how much I train, how much I sleep, what I eat. You know, as a standard, typical athlete, you go back to the controllables.
Yeah, of course.
And the things you can't control, you either ignore or you overcompensate. And so that's what ended up happening for the next couple of years. And here I'm losing my love for netball, but not realizing, because when I was achieving all these things, I always felt there was something missing. And that was because in my mind, I didn't know it then because I was too young, too naive, too driven, too focused on the one part of my life that I did not see how I then started resenting the sport, because I felt like I should have spent more time with my family. I should have spent more time at home. Because then you realize, like, because then it starts with the who am I? Because like, you miss so many things. You miss birthdays, you miss funerals, you miss weddings, you miss so many things because ag nee, maar jou speel netball.
So
But it was the norm.
Yeah.
Like, the family knows, the extended family knows, the friends know. You're just not available because everything is built around that one thing. And so then how is that one thing how does it not become your identity?
Now of course it does. Of course it does.
But then also throughout your career, when you are an athlete of faith, and you are a Christian athlete, then you have that thing that grounds you, right? But then when you lose someone you love, it starts shaking your faith.
Of course.
But also you don't allow yourself, as a Christian, you're not allowed to question. As an athlete, you're not allowed to, so I also realized I had so many strict rules for myself that I just set off, that no one put on me.
No.
But I just had for myself. I was very strict with what I allowed myself to do. Like, I never went out. I didn't have a normal 20s experience. I was a student athlete. Never went out. I didn't drink, didn't smoke, never did drugs, any of those things, which a lot of people do fall into. But like, my obsession and my addiction was my sport, I would say. Like, I felt like, God put me on this earth to be a netball player. That is the only way. That's the only way I can do what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, if I have to reach people, inspire people, or share his message, is through my sport.
Yes, of course.
It's me posting my little pictures on Instagram with my Bible verse caption. That's how I'm portraying God. And that's how I'm honoring him. And I have to continue playing because that's how I honor God. I have to continue playing because that's the only way the sacrifices I made are worth it.
And at that point, you didn't love it at all anymore?
I did, but it was a thing of, I still do because I'm still in it in a way. So it's not that I lost the love, it's more so I think I lost the why.
Okay.
The why I did it. It then suddenly became a thing of, I have to, and not anymore, so I want to.
Yeah.
It became I have to because I chose this above everything and everyone else.
Yeah,
So I have to keep doing it. I have to because this is a talent that God gave me, and if I don't use it, then I'm not honoring God and I'm not honoring my calling.
Yeah.
So it became a I have to thing versus a I want to.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I'm not playing for that little girl anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not playing for the little girl that fell in love with it anymore. It just became a thing I had to do. And also,
Crazy.
obviously, you have bursaries. So,
Of course, there's
yeah.
obligation and it becomes your career. So
Yeah.
it's not the thing of like, I don't love it anymore, I'm not going to do it anymore. It's this is what I'm going to
There's
do.
things attached to it as well.
And also, obviously, since you were a little girl, that was your dream. So there was nothing else that interested you. Like you never went the
Yeah.
conventional route in terms of like, I want to become a lawyer, I want to become a doctor, I want to be a teacher. I don't like, there was never that. There was always netball. How does your life then just not stand still? And how do you actually move forward from that? What did that next 5 years then look like? Okay, so this was all in 2019,
Yeah.
the height of your career, the lowest part of your life as well. What next?
Yeah, it's kind of like I didn't allow myself to take time because I wasn't also afforded time. I mean,
Yeah.
you have the next tournament coming up in a couple of weeks, so then you just work towards that. And I think I didn't even really cry like after my sister's death that much. I didn't allow myself to cry that much. I just went into, okay, let's see if everybody's okay.
Yeah.
She has the 2 kids that now left behind, so I just tried to be like, you know, a present aunt for them. And my mom, obviously it was a lot for my parents. And yeah, so I just felt like,
You have to be strong. You have to be,
I felt like I had to be strong, like I always do. I have to be strong in my team. I have to be strong at home. Great family, though. Honestly, really blessed. God really did me a solid there when he gave me my family. But all the pressures that was self-inflicted and my own standards for myself. I just couldn't imagine anything worse than like losing a child. So, and I think that's also where I was raised by just how my parents are as well. We always think about, my mom always said, just think about if that was you.
Yeah.
Just treat others how you would want to be treated. And if not for yourself, imagine you had a daughter yourself, or you had a child yourself, or it's your sister, or it's your niece. How would you want to be treated, or how would you want them to be treated?
Yeah.
And so I think I've always just thought of others whenever I do anything or go anywhere. Like, how would I feel if I was in that position? So for me, I was like, no, I need to be strong now because this is the worst thing ever for my parents. So I can't act out. I can't like be sad. I can't be depressed. Like, let me go do the thing that I'm good at.
Yeah.
So now can I netball speel? So then I just trained a lot, trained hard. I did change. Like, looking back, I can see how I changed. The spark was more forced. It was more, you know.
It didn't come spontaneously.
Yeah,
it
became effort. Like I feel like I started playing a role, and I think that's a natural thing when you then start living in survival mode.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened since then. So everything came from a place of like survival. Like, what do I need to do to just get through it?
Yeah.
But obviously, you are flourishing. You are looking like nothing's wrong. So.
Yeah.
You know, you carry on, and I also didn't want people. I never want people to pity me.
No, worst thing ever.
I'm not a victim. I wasn't made to have victim mentality. So for me, I don't want people to pity me. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. So I'm just gonna be stronger. But yeah, my mental health did decline, but high functioning. You know, like kind of high functioning depression, high functioning survival mode.
No one from the outside would see it.
Yeah. Only if you probably knew me really, really well and have known me for years, you'd pick it up. But also, what can you do?
Yeah.
Because people can only help you as much as you allow them to.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, just carried on. Went to USA. Had a great USA. We again lost in the final.
Bye.
But we beat a team that was supposed to be the winning team.
Okay,
and we knocked
lekker.
them out in the semis, went to the finals, and then once again making the dream team. You know? So once again, flourishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, overachieving. Studies, I'm just trying to get through it. That I was not trying to ace everything. It was just about getting through. Then after that, then we was in netball, same thing. And in between that, my relationship with my partner at that time was also going through a rough patch. Yeah.
So now it's another facet of your life.
Yeah, we don't need to go into what exactly happened, but it was rough. It was rough. Wouldn't recommend.
No. Rather skip that part, yeah?
Yeah. So anyway, went through that in that part, but then going back, so now everything that happens after that, I realized everything stems back to my sister again. We broke up and things goes, we needed to break up.
Not good.
But then I went back. We got back together again. But I feel like it was part of that thing. He's the only dude I ever brought home that my sister met. So in a way,
You're still connected.
Me holding on to this relationship is in a way of me holding on to,
Girl.
because I couldn't imagine, but I couldn't imagine carrying on with a life of getting married, getting children, achieving my dreams, and never having my sister be a part of it.
And all of those milestones, all of
But
it.
my hele lewe lê nog voor. All the big things I'm still working towards, they are yet to happen. And now I'm going to have to get there without my sister, without one of my best friends in the entire world. So I think a lot of the things or choices I made and decisions I made, and for example, staying in places longer than I should have, or things like that, it was, yes, one familiarity thing, but also it was, in a way, it made me feel like I'm still connected to my sister. Like my life is not going on without her. It's not a new life that she doesn't know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I think, it impacted me a lot more than I realized, and I only recently kind of reflected on it and saw it for what it was. So I have more grace now with myself with certain choices as well, because, in the beginning, I was very hard on myself, like, how could you? You were so dumb. You were so stupid. You should have known better. Very much, self-blame.
Yeah, but at that time, that was all you knew, so it was what you stuck with. And I think you should have grace with yourself. I'm really proud of you for having grace with yourself, because if I had to put myself in that shoes, like, I wouldn't know how I would have treated it or done it differently. But it's like, now you know what you deserve. Now you know the type of love you need and what you can give. But you never gave it that even to yourself. So how would you think that you deserved it if that was the way you were handling yourself,
Impacted a lot of my decisions after that. So anyway, finally everything. And then I end off my season with getting Marty Sportswoman of the Year.
Huge.
Not even thought it was a possibility. I mean, very rarely a team sport person gets stuff like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like this year of like where everything, like career-wise, sporting-wise, just the best ever. And then personal life-wise, the worst ever. It was a very transformative year for me. And I think then after that's when things like really shifted. And that's when the questions of identity started happening. Like, who are you? What do you really want? And why? Because I had obviously the list or the timeline. And I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
I have this timeline. This should happen by this age. This happen by that age.
Yeah, it's mapped out for you.
Yeah, my life is mapped out. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm marrying. This is, all those things like this.
But still, you had that missing feeling. That feeling like, well, that void is still there. I'm not fulfilled.
Yeah.
Even though you have everything perfectly planned out.
Yeah, and then the point where I was like, okay, but where did it all like kind of fall apart? Where you're like, no, like this I can't carry on anymore like this. So obviously we had COVID. So that COVID year was weird for everyone. And then straight after COVID, I get engaged. Yeah, straight off lockdown, get engaged. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm staying in control.
Yeah.
I'm staying in control, following the plan.
Yeah.
Something went wrong. My sister is not here. She died, but everything else is going to plan. I'm sticking to the plan. Sticking to the plan. I'm going to make the World Cup team. I'm going to marry this person. I'm going to have this life. At this age, I'm going to have my first kid. no, all these things. My person's going to achieve this. I'm going to achieve that. But I'm laughing about it because it's just, looking back at it now, it kind of seems ridiculous. But in that time, I was like, yeah, this is what I'm happy
No, but also looking from the outside, I could 100% see it. Like, I mean, like, okay, that's the perfect picture.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It looked perfect.
It looked perfect.
Exactly. And so I'm like, I should just stick to it.
Yeah.
And I was so deeply unhappy.
And alone, probably.
Yeah. Because, at that time also, then I moved. So now I moved to Joburg.
Yeah.
And my whole family and support system is and in Cape Town basically. So I leave that behind and I go to a new team. The netball was good. The netball environment was good. A lot of support there. Got to play with the friends that I used to play against as well. So that was good. For my career, it was a good move. But now for my personal life, I didn't have that support system that I needed. And at that time, my partner as well, we both had big dreams and kind of working towards big things. So he was not the support that I needed. I also didn't know what I needed, to be fair. So a lot of isolations. Now I'm in this house a lot of the time in the year on my own because he's away for work, obviously training in Europe, whatever. I'm in this big, huge house on my own, feeling so alone, but also not telling people what I'm feeling. Yeah, I didn't know
how can I complain? My life is literally perfect.
And then when people was like, you're so lucky. The amount of times I was told I was so lucky to be where I was. And then just me then feeling extra guilt because
I'm not grateful for what I have. And
so I'm so unhappy. I'm so deeply unhappy. And how could I be if I have everything that people say you're supposed to have? And also it's following the timeline. Yes, there was issues in my relationship that no relationship should have, but surface level, it could be worse.
Yeah.
Is it that thing where you tell yourself in a relationship, it could be worse?
I'm not walking away. It could be worse.
It could be worse. Yeah. I mean, he's not doing that to me. He's not doing this. It could be worse, and then people also reinforce that by saying, you know what, this person is going through that person's going through that, like, you are lucky. So nou ry ek die Mercedes, ek bly in die mansion, maar ek is so ongelukkig.
Ew.
And I felt like I couldn't complain. I should just suck it up. And then I just put everything into my sport. I got so skinny. Oh my goodness, I got so extremely skinny because I just did everything for netball then.
But then everyone was probably also from the outside saying, "You look great. Are you happy? Like, you look amazing."
Yeah. And at a stage also when you're in a relationship with certain people, then that's kind of all you also like are seen as, like on someone's arm. So you have to look great.
Yeah.
You have to look great. You can't say it wrong. You can't be too much. And then in that environment as well, being with someone from a different culture, then those aspects also came into it. That wasn't there when we were dating, but after we got engaged, and a bit more, expectations coming in, and now I have to dress differently, I have to speak differently, and so now you can imagine how the identity crisis is now really building. Because now I have to think about what I'm wearing, I should think about what I'm saying, I should think about and then I just started not wanting to go anywhere. I didn't want to leave the house anymore.
Because that's the only place is when you are with yourself is like where you could actually be you.
Yeah, and so I completely started losing that spark of like, and then you are like, who is Joe?
Yeah.
But I didn't know that's the question I was supposed to
ask.
No,
you never ask that question to yourself. Like, it was never even in the equation of asking yourself, who is Joe and what do I want?
Exactly. And then at that time also, I can't really burden my partner because he has things to achieve as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that because I'm an athlete myself.
Yeah, the sacrifices.
Yeah, so I'm like, nah, I can't do that. It's not a good time in the calendar. You schedule fights. Guys, when you're with an athlete, you schedule fights. You look at the calendar and you have to schedule fights. Because, like, no.
No, you can't before a big game. You can't before a big...
No. But then, also with my parents saying, I didn't feel like I should burden them. They lost their daughter. And then with my middle sister, didn't feel like a burden because she has her own family. She has kids herself. Mm-mm. So I'm just in this big house, just like, just
again,
isolating.
the paradox is like your whole life in that time is just constantly these polar opposite things going on at the exact same time.
And then I'm just looking for reasons to be unhappy. Because it couldn't be that I'm actually supposed to grieve. Because if I have to now look at that wood, I'm opening up a whole different can of worms. And that's a distraction from, I'm working towards World Cup.
Yeah.
I'm working towards 2023 World Cup. I can't be. And I'm trying to plan a wedding as well. And then there's a lot of things also in my personal life as well, in my relationship, that's stress. Ooh. But so it's yeah. So I was just feeling all over the place and trying to find myself through that, and it was impossible to do because I didn't really know I was lost. And then just one day, I went to one of our TNL camps, and for the first time ever, I got a panic attack.
Yeah.
Also, no one knew I was even getting a panic attack there. I just ran out of the arena and I went to go throw up outside. Never happened in my life. I've been an athlete my whole entire life.
Massive stages, like you like...
And pre-season, guys.
Yeah.
We know pre-season. Pre-season is Stellenbosch.
Yeah.
It's you want to throw up.
Yes, but you've never...
So I've never experienced anything like that. The ringing of the ears, and I've been in pressure situations.
Yeah.
And that was a sign for me. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then someone was also there at that session as well. Was like, because I think I was starting to see that people were starting to see the cracks, or I was just paranoid about it because someone was also like, "Girl, you're so skinny," like, and I'm like, "No, I'm just losing muscle," you know.
Yeah.
But that time it's actually I'm not really eating that much. I'm not sleeping. Yeah, like things are not good. Things are not good at home, and now it's affecting my nipple for the first time.
Now you're forced to do something about it.
It's affecting my nipple. Nothing in my life has ever affected my nipple.
Not even the things you went through in 2019 affected your nipple.
So that was like the warning.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. So then I went to go see someone. And that was so hard for me also to be like,
Yeah.
you know, if you have to see someone, there's something like, that means there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Girl, so that was when everything stopped in a crazy way. Obviously, I prayed a lot. I'm a praying woman. But at that stage, my prayer changed. I didn't pray for specific things anymore. I just, for the first time, I was in the shower. Oh, very dramatic. In the shower, like water's running over me. My ex and I had a fight again, whatever. And I'm like sitting on the ground in the shower. And I'm just like, God, it's not supposed to be this way. Help me. That's all I said. And then suddenly everything fell apart. Like in less than an hour, my relationship was over. And I left. And then within 24 hours, I left Joburg and my dad came to fetch me. And looking back now, I can't tell you exactly what happened, but I can only say it was divine intervention.
Sure.
And I can say that was the first time like I got such an immediate answer to my prayer. So no one can ever tell me that God does not exist.
No.
Because I've experienced it firsthand.
You have goosebumps.
My life just changed completely. And I thought it was, the worst. At that point, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, of course. No,
At
there's
that
no
point, it was the
goodness.
worst thing ever. Like, no, like trying to like what is happening? Stop.
Yeah.
Like where is the stop button? Where's the pause
You're
button?
just take a little bit of a break.
Like I just felt like everything is spiraling, everything is falling apart. At that time, it was like a thing of just break everything because it needs to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
But at that point, it was everything's falling apart. Mm-hmm. My life is ending. And then went home, complete shell of myself. Like, shame. Seeing like my parents at that time, I felt so bad because I was like, no man, I can't do this to them. I can't do this to anyone. Like, I can't be falling apart. Mm-mm. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
I'm a high functioning human being. Like, how do people just
Sorry, that
stop?
doesn't fit into my
Yeah, it doesn't
schedule.
fit there, guys. It's not part of the timeline. It's not part of the plan. I did not. This is not on the vision board.
No.
No, this is not the. What's happening? I felt so out of control.
Yeah.
And now, being a little bit of a control freak back then, like, there was nothing worse. There's nothing worse that could happen. My relationship's falling apart. I'm struggling with my netball because there's this anxiety thing that I've never had. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. My parents didn't know what to do. My dad was starting to call around, being like, should we book it? So
Yeah.
she's like, because they don't know what's wrong, and I don't know what's wrong either, and I can't communicate because at that stage I didn't really know how to communicate feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you are so anxious. Like when I feel anxious, I lose any ability to speak. That's the most frustrating thing as someone who is always in control. Then not having control over yourself, it feels like the worst thing ever, and you feel like you are broken.
Yeah, so broken.
Yeah.
So extremely broken. And I'm just like crying out to God. Like,
Yeah. And that was now 2020?
Yeah, so that's 2021.
2021, okay. So you left Joburg, you came back to Cape Town, and you still played. You're still working towards 2023 World Cup.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm like, that's the only thing
That's
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Then what? How did you? I'm so in the story. I'm so in this timeline.
Because I'm like, okay, what's next? So then I went home and I'm like, okay. I gave myself like probably a week. And I'm like, no, I have to go back. I have to go back. We have to stick to the plan. Because at that point also my ex and I, we broke up. But we didn't break off the engagement. It's like taking a pause, taking a break. It was very blurry, gray area. So the thing like, no. We're going to get back together. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. We're going to get back together. Yeah, no. I'm still going to play World Cup. I'm starting a new job at Colonial Hill College. Yeah. No, I'm starting a new job. It's fine. It's fine, guys. I just...
Everything's fine.
It was malfunction. Yeah, just kidding. Lol.
Just joking.
Psych. No, guys. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I was just dramatic. No, I was broken, right? I was broken, and then I to the point where I was like, no, there's no will to love. What is left?
Yeah.
To the point where I didn't want to live anymore. And so then I shouted to God. I'm like, God, help me. Like, what am I supposed to do next? And somehow, I didn't hear God speak to me often. You feel His presence, but it's very little that I felt like I could say I hear Him. And then I just heard for me at that stage, share your story, speak. I was like, what story?
What?
I don't even know what's happening. What am I supposed to say?
Like that's the last thing
What am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
And also, I don't tell people when I'm like, I don't speak about stuff like this. I don't speak about.
No, you're
things.
asking this
I'm
from me.
not vulnerable.
Yes.
I don't like. What do you mean? Like, share your story. Like,
Yeah.
God, come on.
No.
Bruh, God, come on, my guy.
Yeah.
And so I had a podcast that I started as a project in COVID. I did a course through Red and Yellow Business School. And part of that course was creating a project. It could either be like a video project or a podcast. So I started a podcast in that project. And that was the More Than podcast. But it was more so about, for me, I think, as athletes, I was very kind of obsessed with the thing about athletes are more than their sport.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was something that was always in the back of my head. I just didn't know how. It's like, eventually I will get to that part.
Yes.
After I retire.
Yeah.
So now I had this project, a part of my course at that time, where I created a couple of episodes. But yeah, so it was like on Spotify and Apple on the podcast.
Yeah.
But it was not, I wasn't that serious about it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't also thinking about revisiting it because I'm focusing on making World Cup. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the number one thing. So then I'm like, okay, I already have this kind of platform. No one really listens to it. This is like my friends at that stage. And I didn't make it like a big public thing. It was a secret project. But I'm like, okay, I have this platform. I call my friend and I'm like, yo, Kai, just come. We're going to create an episode. And she's like, didn't give her much detail. She's like, friend, you're not okay. You're not okay. Very supportive friend. Oh gosh, very blessed with people in my life that God has placed there. And she didn't know what I was going to share. I didn't give her like a brief.
Yeah.
And we kind of just went and sat in the scullery because no booth, no nothing, no equipment, and did it like on Anchor that time, Anchor podcast, where you can just self-record and edit and all these things.
Okay.
And we went into the scullery because for sound, and I just started sharing the story of how on this specific day, I like it was 2022 then. No, it was 2022. I lied to you. It wasn't 2021. It was 2022. On the 2nd of February. So it was 2022.
Yeah.
I wanted to take my life. And I shared the story with her. She did not. Oh, God bless her. That I just threw this on my friend. But then I'm sharing this. I didn't tell anyone else. But now I'm speaking this into like something I'm going to put out into the world.
Yeah.
And I just share and I just keep talking, and I can't even remember what I said because I never went and listened to it again. I listened to it once before the follow-up episode, but I never listened to it again after that. So I can't even tell you exactly what I said. But then I kind of shared that story. And I shared a couple more of just speaking on mental health, got a doctor, a sports psychologist as well on one episode, because then I realized the importance of mental health. And I realized also I cannot carry on. I did go back to Joburg, went back to Pretoria, tried to do the netball thing again, but just realized I couldn't do it. I at that stage. So even that quitting, tough thing for an athlete. Now it's like, no, when you weren't quitting, but in that stage, I felt like, I was.
It's like you see it as giving up.
Yeah.
And like you're so close. How could you give up now? Yeah.
So most difficult decision of my life is hanging it up at that stage. Because now I'm in the World Cup squad. We have about 2 years until the tournament. And then, So giving that's the dream. That's what I've been working towards my entire life.
And all of this is now falling apart. Like I'm seeing this roadmap you set out for yourself, and you're feeling like this is now, okay, the relationship felt like it's falling apart. Your personal life felt like in shambles, and now the netball, and just trying to grip onto something. Like, just can something hold on? Yes.
So now there's nothing. Very privileged that I could stop everything, that I could tell my boss, I'm sorry, but thank you for the opportunity, but I'm not going to take you up on the offer.
But also just want to say, like, your obedience for, like, okay, it's not coincidental that you had to do the podcast, and it's not coincidental that, like, you had the message from God saying you need to speak about it, no matter how many people listen to it. Like, just hearing it now for the first time, just thinking, like, that was what you had to do. You had to share your story at that moment in that time. So I just want to honor you for your obedience in sharing that, because I don't think most people would have taken that step and been obedient in that. Do you think that was an important part of your story, having to share that on the podcast?
Definitely. Wow, it cracked me open. Because like I said, before that, I held things quite close to me, close to my chest. And like I said, vulnerability at that stage, I wasn't comfortable with it. But being like the most vulnerable ever, I had to honor the call. And I think that's something I've always tried to do. And like I said, it's not that you get it always. It's not something that all the time God is speaking to me like daily.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I hear it, and I'm crying out. I'm crying out to the Lord. I'm like, Lord, guide me.
Yeah.
And now he's like, do this. And if I'm going to be like, nah. Then the other option,
guide me in the way I wanted to go.
But like I said, I started changing how I prayed. Yeah. It wasn't about more like this is where I want to go. Yeah. It wasn't more about me praying for my relationship, praying for my sport, praying for my family. It was like, here I am.
Yeah.
I'm empty. I'm depleted. There's nothing left.
Sure.
So now what it's basically a thing of like, in a way, also daring him. Like, okay, now what do you want?
Yeah. Now
I'm here now.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's either me staying on this earth and answering this call, or it's me leaving, because there's nothing at that stage in my mind. There's nothing left.
Yeah.
There's no purpose. So then I'm like, okay, either I'm gonna do this, or I'm just gonna be like, adios. But then thinking of once again, being the person that thinks, how will this affect others?
Yeah.
Oh, it would destroy my parents. So,
Can't do
so it would have been selfish. So I'm like, I'm not going to do that for that reason. Because I can't imagine what that would do to my parents.
Yeah.
So once again, I'm not continuing for myself. Because, yeah, I didn't know how to choose myself ever.
No.
I didn't know how to do that. So once again, I'm choosing life for others and for honoring something. So yeah, so then I stopped anything very privileged to be able to do that. Because a lot of people, they are not afforded that.
Yeah.
We always say, get help, do the work, but not
It's not
everyone
always the
can.
option. Yeah, if you have children at home, if you have to provide for your family, you can't be like, okay, I'm just quickly going to put a pause on my life and then go sort myself out. And okay, so you were in that position to do that.
So I was privileged able to do that and go home, great parents, stopped everything. Yeah. And then it was now having to look myself in the mirror. Didn't like what I saw.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't like her
No.
at all. Didn't know her. And that's where the rebuild started. And that's when I started answering calls and not just following my timeline anymore.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that's when I got on God's timeline. Yeah.
And it took stripping away everything. And it's so interesting because this morning before you came, I had a chat with the videographers about like what would happen if everything is stripped away and you had nothing left. Would you still honor God? Would you still stick with him if all you had was his presence? And that was just like, I'm like, what would that even look like? And it's so interesting to me, and it's actually so crazy now that you are now like a living example of everything is stripped away. Like that is enough. Like just holding on to him is enough, because that's the thing. Did you at that time now finally, when you looked in the mirror, like was that you started being okay, like I'm now going to do this for me, I'm going to now rebuild for Joe? Or was it still...
I didn't know who Joe was.
Yeah.
So I had to take the time to get to know her. And at that stage, I was fortunate to have people also come into my life that started asking me questions that I've never asked myself. And those questions started probing my discovery of self. So I started asking myself different questions and being pushed in different ways and being so outside of my comfort zone, not having that like kind of crutch anymore, you know, of having netball, being this person, or being this. So like there was no label identity attached to me at that stage, or that I attached to myself. So it was kind of getting to rediscover myself, and it hurt. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful. And for that reason, I think also all of that really helped me with empathy. I have a lot more empathy for people and a lot more understanding, a lot more patience. But it took me to get to that point to have that. But it also, I had to have it with myself, which was foreign. So it's easier first to have it with other people.
Yes.
So then in that discovery, I also realized like why a lot of people don't do the work.
It's way easier to just ignore it.
So much easier.
Yeah.
So I understand why a lot of people just avoid it because it's tough. And it took long.
Yeah.
It takes longer than you think it would.
Yeah.
It took years.
But how incredible is it that you can now say that I actually did the work, I actually did this. And now looking back, like you said, how proud Joe would be now of you is... It's incredible. Okay, so you need to go to the pits. You need to...
It's not necessarily... If it's not necessarily that something else happened, you go completely to the pits. I think a great way, or like a great tool to have, is just starting to ask yourself different questions. It's looking at where are you comfortable?
Yeah.
And what are the things you're avoiding?
Yeah.
And that's how you start developing a different kind of self-awareness.
Yeah.
Because now there are already things you attach to yourself, right? Certain ideas, either from our environments or from our own goals and aspirations, or what we view as success and all those kinds of things. But now these other questions that you start asking yourself, it's not necessarily what do you want? It's more so, how do you feel?
Yeah.
Why do you think you feel that way? And what do you think makes you feel that way? And could you do something different to get a different outcome in that feeling.
Sure. I get
Because
you.
we first always go to the kind of the effect and not always to the cause. We kind of go to the thing we can physically see, or the thing like
Yeah,
the
the
outcome.
symptoms.
The symptoms. We always look at it. It's easier to look at that. But then going to the root of it,
Yeah.
it's first you having a feeling, and that feeling is attached to a narrative you made yourself. It's always a story you made up yourself about a certain thing.
Yeah.
It's never the thing. So why do you think you have that narrative attached to it? And that's what takes time
Yeah.
and brutal honesty with self.
Sure.
And to be honest with yourself, you first need to go and strip away your labels, push away that ego.
Yeah.
It's not going to help you. That ego is not going to help. It's there to protect you, but it's also an instinct, a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
It's a survival thing.
Yeah.
Go look at the things you use as your coping mechanism, your survivals. Either it can be your humor, you're the funny girl. But again, that's a label you gave yourself.
Yeah.
Or, no, I'm the one, I see black and white, I'm the justice girl. Okay, but are things really black and white?
Yeah.
Or is it just because you decided that's what's white and that's what's black?
Yeah.
You know, when you mix it together, you get gray. Do you know what's in the gray area? And do you know who's in the gray? What?
Yeah.
And why do you think that is gray? So it's constantly evaluating your own feelings, evaluating your own thoughts.
Yeah.
That is such a great tool to have to start navigating in this world that is filled with various people, so many different people with their own stories and their own narratives. And if you can start evaluating your own story, you can then start understanding your fellow human.
Yeah. When I feel anxious, a lot of the times, like you said, you look at the symptoms and like, okay, I feel anxious now. Like, it's because let's say I'm fighting with my husband. I'm feeling anxious, and it's because we are fighting.
Yeah.
And you're just looking at that.
Yeah.
You're not asking yourself, okay, well, maybe when I was a child, that's how I saw my parents handle conflict. And that's how I learned how to deal with things. You never get to asking those questions because we never sit with ourselves. We never want to do the inner work because it's way easier to just say, it's my partner, he is this person, he caused me to act like this, or it's my job, it's a stressful environment, that's why I'm anxious. No. We always say like offenses taken and not given. That is happening because that's how you never dealt with the grief, or you never dealt with your parents doing this or your friends doing that, or like that's how you wired yourself, and you never want to go back to that. In my life, I feel like I can definitely just take a lot out of that and start asking that questions. But how did you learn to ask those questions? Is that what advice would you give someone to start asking that questions? Where do you go? Do you go speak to someone?
Yeah. So I first went to therapy. I got a psychologist, but just because I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know how to do life.
Yeah.
I literally went and sat there for the first time. And I was like, okay, cool, what do we talk about now? Being very awkward in my first session.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, we're just chatting. I'm like, no. Like, I'm going to like, in a way, in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to psychoanalyze you, trying to psychoanalyze me. Like, you know, it's like me again trying to like control the situation.
Yeah.
Also making jokes, make her laugh. Like, I wanted also to be her favorite patient.
Oh yes, of course.
I'm gonna be the best at therapy, guys. Oh, but that again was my wiring.
Yeah.
So throughout this, so she started asking me questions, because also people at therapy, they don't tell you what your issues are. They guide you to discover it yourself.
Sure, yeah.
It is a chat ultimately, and you ultimately come to the conclusions yourself by being asked questions that you don't necessarily get asked.
Yeah.
And then also I had this person come into my life, which was a male, and he gave me a different perspective on life as well. And he started asking me questions, because we could relate on a lot of things, also in sports, same age, and kind of similar experiences in school and stuff like that. So he kind of also just started asking me questions that I wasn't used to.
Yeah.
And like pushing me outside my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I think another way is if you can go to therapy, if that's something you can afford or something you can do. Also, there's a lot of things available on YouTube or TikTok. I know TikTok therapy, if it's the only thing you can afford, there are some great pages where people can just probe you a little bit and open your mind up a little bit. So firstly, open your mind up.
Yeah.
don't get stuck in a certain narrative for yourself.
Yeah.
So start by doing that, and then make new connections with people you wouldn't usually.
Okay.
That people outside of your bubble, people outside of your comfort zone, and people that won't just tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
I think that is also something I kind of expanded myself, opened myself up to new kinds of people.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, I grew up in the Stellenbosch bubble, guys. I mean, if you grow up in a certain kind of bubble, whether it's your Paul bubble, your Stellenbosch bubble, your
Yeah.
Stellenberg bubble, wherever you are, we tend to grow up in little bubbles. So so for me, I met a lot of people once I left that bubble. And I met a lot of people outside of my sport as well.
Yes.
That also started opening up, and that started like giving me a different perspective on
course,
things.
yeah.
So one, start asking yourself better questions. Number two, expand yourself and connect with people that are different from you.
Yes.
And have different viewpoints and perspectives. And in that way, you also force yourself to expand.
Okay, so now you did that work. Now you went through that.
The work is not done, babe. The work is never done.
What have you learned through all of this? And what would you tell little Jo now? Seeing her as a 30-year-old now, saying like, this is what I wish I could tell you.
I think the main thing for me at this point and at this age is, looking back now, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
And if I didn't go through everything I went through, I wouldn't be where I am now, and I wouldn't feel the way I feel now. I wouldn't love myself, and I feel like for the first time ever, as I do now. So if I could go back to little Jo, I wouldn't warn her. I wouldn't tell her this is going to happen, or give her a heads up, or tell her to handle anything differently.
Yeah.
All I would tell her is, it's going to be okay.
Oh, wow.
And just keep going. Even though you don't have all the answers, even though it may feel like there's no end, just keep going.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not be okay,
Yeah.
because you will be okay again.
Yeah. But what is one thing that little Jo would now, if she looks at you now, what is one thing she would be proud of?
I think in my journey, I thought we had to become something. And I realized it's a lot more of returning.
You.
And I have a lot more in common with little Jo now than I had in the past couple of years. And that joy of the Lord that I felt like I used to have as a kid, I feel like I found it again.
You. Oh, nothing like the ale. That is so powerful and something I relate to so much. You really, you touched me in ways that you're...
And I think also why I was so keen, because I'm not always keen to say yes to things and new projects. But I think the reason I said yes to this and coming on Gutsy and coming to do this with you specifically is because I see your light.
Sure.
And I see your joy. And I remember seeing you when we were still in school and seeing your stuff online and seeing that joy.
Yeah.
And then I've also seen how you've sheltered or tried to shelter yourself from the world as well.
Yes.
And then I've also seen it come back.
Sure.
And so when you asked me to do this and you kind of shared what Gutsy is about, you are the definition of Gutsy.
Sure.
And that's why I felt like if there's a platform for me to go on, then it will to come and just share our lights together.
Yes, you may see. Yes, I lost that joy, that childlike joy for so many years, and finding it again, and it's been a really tough journey finding it again. It's not my story now to share, and I'm not going into my story now, but I want to thank you for being vulnerable, because I've seen so much of myself in what you shared now, and a lot of healing that I still need to do. And I just want to thank you for being vulnerable. And like I always said, we chose the word Gutsy, not because you are fearless, because you are scared and you're doing it anyway. And I was super scared to do this
not the specific talk, because you're a very inviting and very easy person to talk to, but just honoring the call, like you said, going out and stepping up and sitting behind the mic and sheltering myself for so many years now. It was way easier to protect myself and not speak, because the world can't hurt you then. The world can't take from you, and it's taken a lot from me. And now standing up and saying, well, listen, the world's not going to take anything from me, because I'm going to stand bold in faith, and I'm going to, like you said, return to that joyful Julie and bring joy back into my life and not depend on anyone else to bring it or take it away. I'm going to stay true to who I am, and I'm going to get back to that joy. And thank you for inspiring me, and I think you inspired a lot of people today. Yeah, you are changing lives with what you say, and I think that's why God told you that day to speak and share your story. And I want to encourage you to never stop sharing your story. And when you feel the time is right, just keep on doing that. It is easier now, obviously, because you've grown so much sharing it now. But young girls, like, I look up to you so much, and I know so many other young girls look up to you, and girls in sport as well, and feel like they have now a role model. And just like your role model stood on the stage speaking to the school, and you said, like, I want to be like her one day. You are now that person, and I want you to live in it. And I want you to be like, I am a role model, and I'm going to stay strong in that. And thank you for that, and thank you for the inspiration that you are to others. It's just amazing. So yeah, I think that's how we're going to end it off. That is crazy. So that was Joe. That was not how I thought this conversation was going to go. I never thought I was going to bawl my eyes out on camera like this. And I usually always like, I hate it when people cry on camera. We couldn't help it. We couldn't help it. So yeah, if you feel like you are alone, if you feel like you need help, if you feel like you've lost yourself, please do not hesitate to reach out to someone, anyone, whether it's a family member, a therapist, whether it is a teacher, whether it is a colleague. Like, you are never alone. It's not the end. And there's, like you said, it's all going to be okay in the end. And that is our episode for today.